I'm making a silly little video that I haven't seen elsewhere on this platform. I'm rating each individual region of the map, not ranking, rating. I'm making this short and sweet since this isn't serious, but I'm going through these in chronological order, rating them out of 10 each time, that's it. Like and subscribe or I'm rating you a 0. I will explain a little bit why I rate each one the way that I rated it, and even add a fun little fact about each one, with a nation rating at the end. Remember, my opinion the whole way. Also, it's my birthday while I'm recording this, so happy birthday to me. I'm starting top to bottom for Mondstadt, and Starfell Valley is the highest up. I remember going here as a new player and being told it was a dangerous area, and then needing to climb up big cliffs. It was cool, and it's like Dragonspine's forgettable little cousin. I actually just realised this goes all the way down to Whispering Woods, and I was only describing Stormbearer Mountains. This covers like a third of Mondstadt, that's sick. It has the city within its barriers, that's sick. I'll rate it like a 7 since I was going to rate it a 5 out of 10, where there was only Stormbearer Mountains to me. Skull emoji, did you know this place has more areas than Dragonspine? Take that as you will.
Why is this humble windmill such a great view?
I mean, it's understandable. It must have been a long time since you last came to Mondstadt.
Galesong Hill is my least favourite part of Mondstadt. It pretty much only exists to bring you to the Spiral Abyss, and I don't even play it unless it's offering free characters. It's smaller than the other areas, and probably the first part of the map you got 100% on, let's be honest. Only things I remember besides that this is the cutscene where you awaken Dvalin and the Abyss Mages that spawn on the lake. 2 out of 10 for me. For some optimism though, or just a goofy fact depending on how you take it, 2 of the 4 areas are effectively just ocean.
Ah, there you are. Dealing with you will be the easy part.
Windwail Highland is actually really cool in my opinion. It's got the Dawn Winery, Wolvendom, and the Stone Gate all in one place. This place is literally so cool, and even though Dragonspine and Stormterror's lair exists, this is somewhat of a competition. It'll also probably have some connection to Fontaine or whatever place is directly above the revealed parts of Mondstadt due to its position on the map. 6 probably. Crazy because it only has 3 areas. Springvale is here too. The fun fact for this place is Dragonspine was actually a part of this region prior to 1.2's release.
Doesn't mean that you have to listen to me. Freedom, if demanded of you by an Archon, is really no freedom at all.
This part of Mondstadt only has 2 areas, but it's mostly known for one, being very unique as it's one of the only places in the game to be unreachable before doing certain prerequisites. Stormterror's lair isn't exactly content rich, but it's lore and exploration rich. It's defined by the architecture rather than geographic structure or anything, as a massive palace, walls and bridges sprawl the place. It's not something you see often throughout the world of Genshin, so I really like it, honestly. It's also just a cool hook for new players, blocking it off. 7 out of 10 for this place as well, and it's effectively a sub-region or whatever the big important ones are called. Dragonspine is of course peak, literally too, having more depth than the rest of the nation in my opinion, and having a very unique vibe in comparison to other places. It's obsessed with being unique with its own progression system and separation as much as other expansions, having the main content in the main map, while the Chasm and Enkanomiya are separate, and only having the Crimson things. It's just very tame in terms of the quantity of content, but everybody hates sheer cold, right? Nah, I love it. It offers an individual, optional and challenging experience to players, and the longer you wait to go there, the easier it'll be when you finally do. It's simply something that gives that call for adventure upon initially entering or spotting, since it's in the first nation of the game and linked directly to Liyue. Imagine crossing it to get there. I know some people don't have to. I rate this 9 out of 10 in my books. I have amazing memories of Dragonspine, and instead of a fun fact, I just want to leave you with a perspective stated by a developer. There are calm and fantastically adventurous areas. Dragonspine simply cycles that tension and climax through giving you both, one after the other. Let's cross Dragonspine to Liyue now. Mondstadt is 31 in total, by the way, if I did my math right, which I wouldn't trust myself to.
We last left off with ancient Liyue, beset by an ocean demon and a mountain dragon. Rex Lapis mustered his adepti to restore peace to the land. They say that before he set out, he spoke these words.
Buishi Plain, if I pronounced that right, does well at what it was made to do, being to separate Mondstadt and Liyue instead of making them too similar. There's Qingxi village right by the entrance, which is the stone gate, serving to give an almost instantaneous taste of the Chinese architecture. If you ignore that, you'll definitely notice the large bodies of water with bridges leading to Wangshu Inn, all being things not found in Mondstadt, only having small lakes, very little villages besides Springvale and Mondstadt, and of course, differing colouring and inspirations. 6 out of 10 because of the refreshing functional variety yet theme. Did you know Buishi River, which begins here, spans over the whole of Liyue excluding Lisha? Mondstadt doesn't even have any rivers within the existing regions.
Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more?
Farewell, old friend.
Minlin is controversial as well, at least the hiking parts. I remember sitting in Xbox parties while my female characters would make intriguing sounds as I climbed up the various mountains in order to get cool chests. But dude, Minlin is so underrated. Going above the clouds and going across bridges was the first layered environment to be added within the game, and even going up the smaller ones with the big chunky yellow ores that contained random boars and stuff was fun. I love Minlin, it is peak. 8 out of 10 for me, always. Minlin is very reminiscent of Dragonspine, as they both use their statues as objectives to motivate the player to explore further.
But that's about as far as you'll get.
Listen, I liked coming here to get those StarCon shell thingies, since I'm a child's main and all, but beyond that, what's this place good for? I mean, it's the most beachy place in the map, but I don't have particularly fond memories of exploring. I also appreciate the domain below the Dragonspine intersection, but does a domain really justify a section of an open world map? I will say, the little temple with the seal in Lihua Pool is sick. Brings it up to a 6 out of 10 as well. Good, just not memorable. I like memorable stuff. Buishi Plains is the plains dedicated to Morax and Guizhong's relationship, Buishi being a combination of their names. I actually really grew to like Lisha after the Chasm's introduction. Stupid to say, I know, but I'll explain why in a moment. My main memories of this place are fighting Childs, and the stupid part of Act 3 where you need to fight the Fatui skirmishes for the sigils of permission. I hate fighting the fat, wet Hydra ones with the big long guns. Sorry if that seemed too passionate. However, the chasm made me realise what it's for. Lisha is there to create contrast, with the dark green clashing with the light yellow and orange colour scheme of the chasm surface. The place is good too, filled with multiple sets of ruins, bodies of water and more. Turns out the Golden House isn't a part of Lisha, but whatever. 7 out of 10, yeah. Apparently Lisha is meant to be the size of a nation, however that's only in lore terms. I almost forgot about this place and went straight to the chasm, but that's not a bad thing. This is the Liyue place. Objectively, you could say it's worse due to the lack of actual land to walk on, but the places that do exist are sick. This actually has the Golden House, and it has, in my opinion, one of the coolest nation capitals within the area. Liyue Harbour is fire, and the Lantern Rites are fire. Greenstone Forest gives Liyue some nice extra variety to the exploration and is overall memorable. Making your way there isn't an experience you have often, and it kinda gives you an appropriately timed taste of Inazuma. I rate 8 out of 10, and did you know this place is literally just 2 landmarks mashed together? No wonder it's so awesome, to me specifically. Liyue passed Mondstadt with 35 points thus far with just the classic sections. The chasm is cool. I wish I could add a section for the Chen Vale bits, but it isn't out. The surface is of course the less interesting part of the two halves of this 2.7 expansion, but cool nonetheless. The terrain of cool stone walls that slowly descend towards the middle isn't something done before, and this style is the same in Dragonspine. I mean, the exploration in this game has normal natural areas and mythical fantasy based areas for that tension to calm cycle I mentioned. It helps create emotional investment alongside some nice memorability and nostalgia. However, this is only the surface of the fantastical fantasies within the chasm. Once Chen Vale is out, Liyue will have quite the identity of a place with many colours, and the chasm fits with the nation while adding a variety due to the breakage of Lisha in between the larger areas. I'll stop yapping. 7 out of 10, it's good, but to be honest, it feels like it only exists as an entrance.
Whatever's going on in the chasm really is connected to the Abyss Order. A whole city that's floating in the air, upside down!
This is the juice of the expansion, and honestly, if it was bigger and less linear, could have been a nation in itself. The chasms and mines put the Geo into Liyue's identity, filled with rocks everywhere, and I remember being astounded every time I descended further down, feeling so far from home. Ignoring teleporters, the Abyss in the Fatui's influence is amazing as well, bringing together every aspect of the main story. It even has an Archon quest attached to it. Shocker, right? The mechanics aren't something I've mentioned much within this video when it comes to any areas, but the Lumenstone stuff is a great way to tie gameplay, progression, and exploration together in a simple yet effective way. I'm loving it, people. Soundtrack is also great. 8 out of 10. Sorry, I just have a bond with Dragonspine, but the chasm is bloody amazing. 50 points in total! However, the chasm takes place after a separate nation, that being Inazuma.
In the land of the Narukami, centuries pass without change. Deep in the heart of the city stands the lofty abode of the Raiden Shogun. She looks down upon her realm at mortal joys and woes.
I'm recording this stuff on a different day, so if this quality or tone or anything's a bit different, you understand why. Inazuma's main areas to me are the 3 islands, Narukami, Kannazuka, and Yashiori Islands. The first is Narukami, which interestingly enough also has Rito within its borders. Unlike other places in any other nations, the islands of Inazuma feel separated through both exploration, story, and like other nations, the actual overview map. Rito's inclusion is interesting to me, and Narukami is the most memorable by far, containing Inazuma City, the Grand Narukami Shrine, with the big purple area underneath, alongside the Kamisato residence. It's easy to remember the whereabouts of all these places, and overall the island feels incredibly well done. It's fleshed out, well-rounded, self-contained, and honestly could be, like the chasm, its own nation if expanded with the same mechanical principles at heart. I like Inazuma's city structuring on 2 islands as well. 8 out of 10 for me. It's just the encapsulation of that meme where Homelander yaps about perfection. Did you know Rito has a bug where you can go underwater and have a cool sunset silhouette? Search it up, or you might find a YouTube short by chance. Kannazuka is kinda mid. It has an intimidating aura, and unlike being well-rounded, it focuses on the hostility, war, and overall edginess of Inazuma as a nation. You can hear the music change immediately upon entering, and it's one of those places that focus more on few large landmarks rather than a lot of small ones. Tadorusuna is cool with the Scaramouche lore and Bale Thunder stuff, but besides that it's kinda boring. There's also a beach with a really annoying balloon quest in the Archon quests, but it leads to the next island. I rate this place like a 4, kinda boring for me, boring fact, but the connecting beach is fully part of Yashiori Island, not Kannazuka.
He saw me as an abomination. The third was one exactly like me. A hope for the future. A fledgling barely out of the nest.
Crossing the beach leads to this place, which I have better opinions of, not really. I mean, I don't care for Inazuma in general, but what is this? This isn't Fontaine. Why is there a random yellow patch and a bootleg Gyunyun stone forest on the left? Fortunately enough, it isn't all bad. The large fossils and tall sprawling mountains create a mix of fantasy aesthetic and natural aesthetic, which isn't too common in some parts of the world. I mean, all of Inazuma offers this, but look at the big bones. It's like a desert valley if it wasn't desert. 7 out of 10. Did you know that you can find scorpions and consecrated scorpions here due to the consumption of the dead serpent's flesh, despite the fact they typically belong in Sumeru? Now this place is very cool, I approve of it. There's no places like it anywhere. Coral stuff, ocean stuff, fish stuff, unique architectural stuff, water stuff, and more coral stuff. The structure of the circular cliffs coming down to form a hole with a single stand-up cliff in the middle is very befitting of an area focused around the underwater, and if you even go further under the water, you'll get a big surprise. Not to get ahead of myself though, I rated a 7. There is no fun fact, I miss you Teppei, I love you.
If that's the case, then the peace talks are likely a trap.
I've only touched the not literal surface of the place, but it's so awesome. Terrifying enough to make me avoid the monsters, clear Inazuma nature with a mix of entirely new things, and the main section of the cavern entrance is mind-blowing in quality and originality. I was told they're rated high, so I'm rating it a 9 out of 10. Did you know that one of the themes is a parody of the original Against All Odds track? I believe it's called No Turning Back. I probably put it in the background of this section, not gonna lie. I almost forgot this one, not gonna lie, again. It's not bad though, it's just kind of irrelevant. It doesn't have a unique mist mechanic like Tsurumi Island or Enkanomiya, and coral like Watatsumi Island. It's just really rude to you. Like, look at the lightning strikes. The terrain is cool and I like the village and the little shrines, but overall I just don't care about Inazuma, so naturally I don't care about this. I apologize people, and I haven't seen Tsurumi Island by the way, so I'm skipping it. Actually, I won't. Seirai's like a 5. Also, I think this place is related to Skyra's Third Betrayal. So, like I said, I know nothing about this place, but I like how it brings back the style of the original Inazuman Islands with a flair of mysterious mists. But most importantly, I am in love with Tsurumi for that little archipelago with the domain. Did you know there's a Wave Rider waypoint at the northern part of the island that is revealed before the World Quest, but unreachable anyway? Never forget. 6 out of 10, this place has clocked in at 46 in total. I think a lot of it is just due to the sheer size though. Inazuma is mid in my opinion.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Ah, I spy a new friend.
Sumeru is probably going to win this whole thing, just a heads up. It's got the most regions and, in my opinion, the best ones. Avidya Forest immediately shows us the amazing ability Sumeru has to bring a climate variety to its areas, containing Gandharvaville in the beginnings of the storyline, slowly building up to places like Sumeru City. I will say though, ignoring these two places it's a little weak. Avidya Forest is good for connecting all the surrounding regions rather than being good on its own, as it's mostly to shallow water or flat terrain. I like the water though, solid 7. No fun fact, just go listen to Vagrant Wandering or Flickering Shadows of Trees. Phenomenal songs. This place is a fat W in my opinion. Ardravi Valley not only contains Port Ormos, which has a banger theme, but contains that big cave with the ruined drake inside it. I have fond memories of exploring the area to be honest, as there were so many areas, and damn do withering zones contribute to a fun explorative experience. I like how it shows a little ocean on the side, making it feel nicely connected. Unfortunate there's none anywhere else. I'd rate this an 8 since 9 feels too generous for a normal area, in most circumstances. There is no fun fact, just ruined golem. Okay, I'll be for real. I'm a little uninterested in Lokapala Jungle. It's sick with the mushrooms and everything, but I mostly went there to get my exploration up intentionally. I feel like I explored the cliffside between Sumeru and Liyue more than the mushroom forest itself. It's out of the main loop of Sumeru, and when a region has no interactions at all with the nearby neighbouring regions, it grows a little more boring. It's closer to Minlin than half the damn places in Sumeru. Unfortunately, 5. I think Ashavan Realm does its job significantly better. I actually could not find anything on this place. Vanarana is actually pretty cool for what most would consider an extra region. It only exists for a questline, but it has an amount of exploration outside of it, alongside its cool little dream gimmick. There's a bunch of NPC Aranaris to interact with, and overall, it feels very full and nice for what it is. 7 out of 10 in my opinion. And did you know that there are no other areas with a gimmick like this? Cool, huh? I dislike this place however. I love the singular main puzzle within it, but it is literally so tiny when they could have just pushed out Vanarana and the Lost Nursery to allow some more breathing room for this region. Like, what were they thinking? It's the same problem as Galesong Hill, but I guess at least it's more interesting and the exploration percentage is satisfying to easily raise, especially so far into the game. 4 out of 10. That water puzzle has a history of sad, soft log bugs though, man. Place isn't great as an open world area, but the quest is sick with the big withering zones. Atmosphere on the surface and more. I'll make this brief and give it another 4 since I have next to nothing to say, and I'm betting there's like 5 chests there.
The sweetwater mushroom has a brown conical cap and a white body. Consuming it may induce delirium.
This is my favourite part of the rainforest. The large sprawling trees are so fun to climb, just like Minlin, alongside the underground network for wave riders, which I find super cool due to the lack of that type of stuff elsewhere. If you get bored of generally unique and super new stuff, go to the ground level with bodies of water and cliffsides. This place offers everything and has plenty to do. which causes me to rate it a 9. Enkanomiya is hardly usable in the underground areas here, by the way, since that game still thinks that they're underwater till they're fully drained. Now, we've covered the rainforest, which is in total at 44 points, just under the entirety of Inazuma, so Sumeru was doing good. Does make me realise how much filler regions there really are though. Let's go make Anakin Skywalker mad now.
One with the forest!
I had the same question every time I walked this way when I was a kid. Why is this high wall here? And can a wall really block sandstorms? It was only after I grew up that I realized it serves a more important purpose, keeping out people like us.
I love this place, whether it's the large underground ruins unlocked through the Golden Slumber questline, Aru Village, or the actually interesting cliff terrain mixed in with the constant sand dunes. Only this and Upper Setek have this form of terrain, so it's nice and juicy. It's a good place to introduce the desert to its tame introduction of underground areas, dunes, cliffs, ruins, and the village that is there. It's also perfectly placed to let the player choose between the more fantastical intimidating area or a similar comfortable one after. I rate this place a 7, let's go to the ladder. Oh, and fun fact, despite this area's placement as an upper region, it's named Lower Setek due to the Egyptian usage of things like the sun's position to identify relative placements of areas, time, and more.
Spear.
This area is a bit more of a nothing sandwich than its sister region, similar to Lokapala Jungle. I do like what it has, but there's just a lack of notable areas to bring up. I mean, there's the Ruin Golem. That's pretty much it though. It's just a continuation of what was above it, most likely to just reach the ocean for when the map is finished. 5 out of 10. Did you know there's a total of 3 ruin golems within Sumeru, being here Ardravi Valley and the desert of Hadramaveth. And the desert of Hadramaveth. This place is peak. Now I'm sure I might have disliked it more if I got to Sumeru prior to version 4.0, but I didn't. I love the constant ruins, underground caverns, the pyramid, and even the open nature of the surface overall. It's focused on patience, puzzle solving, and wisdom rather than an impulsive, stimulating exploration. It does break the code of Genshin where a fantastical area will be richer with content in terms of that exploration, however, as a big pyramid probably hypes you up a little too much. I still love it though, 8 out of 10. And not a fun fact, but why is it called Hypostasis Desert? There aren't any of them here.
To attempting the forbidden and fearing none. The 6 cardinal sins are the origin of all evil in this world.
We're getting closer to the end now. This place is very cool, but so big I haven't gotten around to it properly exploring it. From what I have done, the cracks in the earth and spiraling terrain with vertically designed, puzzle-filled ruins is very pleasing to experience in my opinion, and I will always be fond of this region. I haven't experienced very much of that brutal weather though, but from what I have experienced, I like the variety it gives to the desert as a whole. 7 out of 10 again. There was a point in time where you could access 4 precious chests with a bug before they were meant to even be accessible at all. Her foes rage like grey waters. I didn't explore these last 2 desert bits as much as the other ones, just because of burnout I was getting from the game as a whole. The massive tree here and unique mix of everything Sumeru is known for is great though, especially since it's at the end of the road. It's poetic, well done, and everything in between. 8 out of 10, I'm really fond of it, I just wish I was still in love with playing the game though. I remember nothing about this place. Oh no, I was really happy just then, but like, I spent all of my time here waiting to cross the cliff to the realm of Fairy Kurt. So yeah, it's kind of underwhelming. It's just the set text, but past all the good stuff. It's copy and paste and kind of filler. I rate it like a 4, but I'm sure if I remembered more about it, I'd enjoy it more. I remember some unique weird Rifthound scented puzzles throughout the dunes, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be ending here since Fontaine isn't finished, nor have I had a proper chance to experience it as much as the places like Sumeru. Let's conclude here, shall we? The desert is 40, by the way. In total, that's 84. God damn. Okay, I hope that was enjoyable. Since it was the definition of pointless yapping for probably roughly 20 minutes, I'm so looking forward to crunch time editing this in a day. Jeez. Well, that's irrelevant. I hope you all have a good day, night, afternoon, or if you're lost in the Paris catacombs, adventure. I'll see you next week, or if you subscribed or are curious, a YouTube post in like a day asking for suggestions because I like creativity. Bye!